Hey guys, so we're going to do another reading. I'm probably going to do a lot of talking, but this is a big case. I'm probably to explain now. I know some of you are becoming aware of it. This just happened yesterday, and it's incredibly sad and it's incredibly tragic. I'm going to go ahead and kind of see what the spirit has to say on some things, because I know a lot of people are saying why does this happen? Just a very it's a very hard case. I'm definitely getting a lot of feelings of Andrea Yates back in the day, many years ago. That was kind of one of the things that when I did like those hung out with all the pro-choice ladies, and we did kind of discussions, debates. She was sometimes one of the people we would talk about. In the sense that one of the things, and most of you may know the case, especially if you're older, the case of Andrea Yates. She was a mother of five beautiful children. And that's why, if anybody was around back in the day, you know this case very well. She drowned her five children, there was a lot of factors with Andrea Yates, that it was not a simple, oh, I just hate being a mother. It wasn't like that at all. Andrea Yates had a lot of mental health issues, very, very sad mental health issues. She was also with a husband. They were very active in the church, and it was one of those type of churches that there's a lot of, it was real conservative. It wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. Okay, some churches aren't healthy, guys. Especially, especially if they're being very dark, and there's definitely a lot of wives submit, kind of whatever. They were just about be fruitful and multiply and have a bunch of babies. And see, her doctors at a certain point advised her she needed to stop having babies. They were concerned about her well-being, even her mental health, certain things that with the physical body, chemistry, just a lot. Her and her husband sat there. Nope, we're going to have as many children as God wants us to have. That's pretty much it. They were heavily indoctrinated in the church. So there was a lot of, already we have mental health issues, and there was probably heavy postpartum chemistry changes over time with Andrea Yates. She should not have continued having babies. She seemed, when just even went to her energy, kind of a meek, go along with what I'm told. This had been her life, her upbringing, and everything, and she was definitely very broken, very mentally ill, and she believed that Satan told her to do this. So when this all happened, I do not believe she was just making it up, because she just, the woman completely cracked. So it's a very sad case. So, back in the day, I mean, I know it's real easy, and a lot of people, of course, demonize her, and a lot of horrible women, and just, but then people, there are those who really listened, to see that Andrea Yates, was just completely broken, devastated, not there anymore. Okay, no spark, no spirit, no light left in her. Not in the sense that she went dark as in a bad person dark, but she was just she was just gone mentally. Okay, and I do blame a lot of the church for what that church did to her. Okay, and the husband, who just not even listen, not even paying attention to what is going on with her. Let's just keep impregnating her and making her pump out babies. Let's just make more her Okay, there's a whole lot that people let her down, but I do believe, there's always something, I always got to do this. Her doctor tried to get through to them. Now, of course, there was a little bit of there. Why didn't Andrea speak up? And she didn't know how to say no. And that's just the bottom line. The way she was raised, the way she was taught, and then the church, it's all submit to your husband and all this crap, right? And she was going by the book, by the letter, okay? She didn't know how to say no. I don't want no more baby. There was no in her language, okay? There was no saying no, let's have a baby. There is no. And obviously, there's no abortion, okay? So a lot of it, back in the day when it came to, when we would talk about, the pro-choice, this is, cases like this, and I know, I'm not trying to use it for, but at the same time, yeah, I got to, as we're about to go on this, I'm still new to her particular situation, but I'm suspecting a little Andrea Yates vibe. Not necessarily maybe the Christian part, but some of the mental illness part, okay? But there, not everyone should be a mother. Okay, just because we got ovaries doesn't mean we should be a mother. Okay, and also if people can't afford it and they're in poverty, there's so many factors, and stuff that for one women, to be able to, you know, be able to choose, or if no, I should, whatever it may be, stuff. And it's crazy because say women want to make responsible choices, but say if they have babies and everything is all falling apart, bad mother, right? That's what society does. And everything. Oh, you're doing a terrible job. Or say the mother needs help. I can't pay my rent. I'm struggling financially. And oh, you want social services, and stuff. Get a job or do that. All this crap, this condemnation, things that happen. Okay, there's either way. There's a whole. Oh my God, I could probably go on, but I know I got to talk about this case, and maybe I'll do a separate spirit talk this weekend about it. Okay, that what is done to the woman, the mother, the way, pointing fingers, damned if you do, damned if you don't, and stuff. And then also, just the cases, women need to be able to regulate, maybe I don't want kids, say if a woman, I don't want kids, oh my God, so let's, so don't have sex, so, women can't have a relationship and be able to enjoy sex. She's a bad person if she wants to. But, a man, if he wants to go and enjoy sex, he's a stud, right? Okay, he should be able to, come on, guys. It's such a fucked up world, okay? It's kind of how I feel. I'm very frustrated with this. Let's go ahead and look at this case, though. I'm sure I'm going to put some more stuff in there, okay? So, like I said, as far as going in this, and everything, I know people have harsh judgments and they're angry and going in, but if this is in Andrea Yates, she's mentally ill, and I know a lot of you guys, I know you're going to say, it's wrong. Is it wrong? Yes, it's wrong. Of course. Is there any kind of conscientious doing what, but when people, snap, like Andrea Yates, I really feel snapped. She didn't know what the hell she was doing. She didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she really didn't. I mean, she thinks Satan is doing this. And I believe that she really thought this. Okay, that's a sad thing. That's the bottom line. Okay? And so, because she did not know how to say no. She was not taught, even in her young, in that whole upbringing, to say no. There was no female empowerment. There was no nothing. Her husband, let's go have babies and stuff. Okay? There was no. You don't say no to your husband. You don't. Okay, I'm just going to pump out babies. I stopped. But they did, her and her husband, say no to the doctor. We're going to have babies. To that they said no because she's supporting her husband who wants to keep having her make more babies. Okay, this is even though it was killing her. Okay, that mentally, chemistry, certain things. If sometimes when we have too many babies. Some women can have a lot of babies and they're totally fine. And there are those, postpartum is real. I was even just watching yesterday, as a matter of fact, which is the irony. It's a little bit different situation. I was just watching it, and then this case. I didn't know about this case at all, so it is kind of funny. I saw it, and maybe I should put a link. Brooke Shields, if anybody knows of her, I know when I was young, she was very, very popular. There was a whole lot of stuff. Her mother really exploited her, and I was kind of reading about her and Michael Jackson had a very precious friendship because they both had such a bond, even of things they went through. He obviously, we know Joe Jackson and what he did to the kids, and doing everything to make him a star, and her mother was doing the same basic thing. It was all, it didn't matter what Brooke wanted. Let's just make you a star. Okay, it was constant, put in movies and doing some pretty intense stuff, for a young girl back then. Okay, And then also the modeling, and even people would look at it kind of controversial. And a lot of people really looked at Terry Shields, as exploitive. Point being, though, I don't want to get all into that because I'll get off topic. There's a whole lot I could say. But I've always loved Brooke Shields. I've always felt there was a very sweet gentleness, sincerity, a very good person in there. She's always been a very good, kind person, just what I've observed. Very special, but she really just wanted to be normal, and so she kind of dropped out later. She went to school, she got a degree, went to a very good. I think Princeton was the one she went to. Certain things, still did a few things here or there, but really just wanted to live a normal life. But she struggled for a little bit having children. And then she finally had a child. There was some struggle. She really always wanted to be a mother. But then here comes this beautiful little baby girl. And she had postpartum depression and she couldn't bond. And she was, and so she was having a very hard time. I mean, this is something she wanted. This is something Brooke Shields always wanted. Now, she's already got trauma with her own mother, right? But for whatever reason, and I'm sure a lot of chemistry and a lot of things, she struggled. Now, you got to understand, Brooke Shields, she has money. She could probably afford the best doctors, right? But she struggled with postpartum depression, and she just could not bond with the child. Something was going on. It's not that she doesn't love the child, this, that, whatever, but she was very hard, having a hard time, suffering very heavy depression, and was really going through, a very difficult time. But, with getting with doctors and certain things and working out, was able to get past it. She's had more children since then, but she suffered real hard. And so she's told her story about that, what she went through with postpartum depression. And so it's a real thing. And so we can think of, her, she's a very good person. She's a beautiful person. We think of that. And just like, she said, I wanted a baby so bad. Is this something there were times struggled. It wasn't easy, but she finally, she has a baby, and then here comes postpartum, and I can't bond. What is happening? Okay. So, there can be shame in a mother, for that. Why this beautiful little needs me and I can't bond. And I just, what is happening here? What is this depression coming over? Okay, these things can happen. Okay, so it just something about that. I just thinking about that, like, wow, I was just watching her and watching her story, and feeling, definitely feeling, what the things that she went through, and then this case happens. Let's go ahead and look at it. So this is from the New York Post. Oh, I don't know why I'm looking at my mouse. Okay, hold on. I still got the New York Post. New York City mom suspected of drowning her 3 kids. We pretty much was facing eviction, battling custody issues. So she's going through probably God knows what. And here we go. And I know it's real easy. And maybe we'll get to there. Maybe there isn't a mental illness. Maybe she's a bad person, right? But it's not always that simple in these kind of cases. So let's kind of look at what we've got. The Brooklyn mom suspected of drowning her 3 young children Monday was facing eviction from her apartment, and I did see that a little bit ago. I haven't really looked too much of the case. I'm still learning like you guys, okay? Battling custody issues and grappling with mental health woes before she allegedly killed her kids, the Post has learned. Erin Merdy, 30. So she's 30 is not very old, guys. And she's already got 3 kids, okay? Of Coney Island, owed more than $10,000 in back rent. So that's a lot, okay? For her Neptune Avenue apartment where she lived with her children and had been threatened with getting booted out since January. After the state's COVID-19 eviction moratorium expired, court records show. The mom who allegedly told Ken she drowned her, so she apparently, confessed, drowned her kids, 3-month-old Oliver, 4-year-old Liliana, and 7-year-old Zachary, on a nearby beach early morning, had stopped paying her $15.31 a month rent in July 2021, and so this is a long time. And then we had the COVID, and then she, because see, just because you stop paying rent doesn't mean it doesn't keep adding up, okay? And was served with an eviction notice days before the moratorium expired in January, records show. Relatives reached the Post on Monday, said Merdy appeared unstable in recent years and had trouble maintaining consistent relationships. There was a time when Erin and I were in contact all the time, but in 2015, 2016, she disappeared off the earth. I didn't know how to get in touch with her. Merdy's uncle, Levi Stephen, told the Post. Now I'm faulting myself for that. She obviously needed help, and you can't help but think maybe I could have. I see. That's what is that the end of the article? Hold on. There's probably a read more. Give me. Yep, there it is. Okay. I'm sure there's got to be a lot more to it. This lady. And it says Erin Merdy was struggling with mental health and facing custody battle and everything. I'm at a loss for words. It's not every day you lose 3 family members in one day. He said nobody wants to go to the funeral and see those 3 bodies. Another uncle, so see, she has family, and another uncle, Gene Stevens, 64, said Merdy didn't appear to have her life together. I don't think she could handle a relationship or anything like that. She didn't seem like she was that kind of person. She didn't seem like she was stable, the relative said. So where are the people seeing all this, the family, I know it says she dropped off face of the earth, but still, hey, where are you? How you doing? Where are they checking in on her? Does anybody even care about her? Okay. Anybody can go out and just fool around, but a person that's stable can settle down with one person. She'd have her life together and do that. Around 1 a.m. Monday, concerned relatives, so there's apparently something. Police report Merdy might be drunk and have done something to harm her children. Hours later, the mom was found by police walking barefoot through the sand on the Coney Island beach, wearing a bathrobe and appearing dazed. So you can imagine she's in a bathrobe. If she's, and maybe drinking or whatever, that's just so hard. Oh, little pictures of the kids. Law enforcement sources said that before the cops found her, she told relatives she drowned all 3 kids. The children were later found unresponsive along the shoreline, just 3 blocks from their home in Neptune Avenue, and pronounced dead at Coney Island Hospital soon after. Merdy's aunt, Dean Stephan, said she knew her niece was struggling, but wasn't aware how badly. So see, they know she's struggling. They know can't pay rent. You got to be, 3 kids. I'm scared. How do I, nobody wants to be on the street. All this. I knew she was struggling in the sense she was trying to find her way through life. In this family, we do have a history of mental illness, okay? And it can be genetic to varying degrees. A few of us have battled with bipolar disorder, but I didn't know her mental struggles, she said. I just knew she was trying to find a way for her children, a way to get on her feet. You can imagine, and many, there are a lot of single-parent moms right now, when it comes that they're not getting child support or they're not getting this and that. And, they just get more of the whole, like say can't pay rent or can't do this, that, or get cut off of resources. Okay. I just knew she was trying to find a way for, Another uncle, Eddie Stevens, said that he was speechless when he heard from relatives that Erin killed her 3 children. She did a little crazy stuff, but nothing that would lead to harming her children or herself. She used to like to party here and there, do a little drinking, but I didn't see any drug abuse or see that she was really irresponsible. It's just tragic. I don't know. She never gave us a sign that she would hurt her children. She loved her children. Merdy's uncle Levy said his niece was in the midst of a custody dispute with 7-year-old Zachary's father before Monday's horror. He had issues with the way she was raising the child, from what I understand, and that may be so. She kind of went off the grid after that, changed her numbers. She wasn't on social media, at least not to the point that I could find her. And you also got to think, and if she wasn't on social media, friends she could talk to. What about a therapist? What about, Okay, like I said, this is nothing making excuses, but this is just when someone is just despair and probably dealing with mental illness, and you've got the world just crashing. Okay, law enforcement sources noted Merdy had failed to bring her son to a custody exchange in July, ahead of a 6-week visit planned with the kid's father. In May, Merdy pulled Zachary off his youth football team without explanation, according to coach. She never gave us a flat-out answer why he stopped playing. City Silverbacks football team head coach Alan McFarland told the Post, it seems she was just juggling a lot. So maybe, a lot of times, you got to think, sports, kids sports, sometimes you got to get uniforms, you got to pay for certain things, Maybe she could afford, any kind of stuff for that. Maybe if they go a trip, if they go, out of another place, pay, a little something. During the 2021 football season, coaches the youth mentorship program regularly picked up Zachary for practice, fed him dinner after games. So yeah, there's probably some expense in that, and dropped him at home. They tried to convince Merdy to bring Zachary, who McFarland said loved football, back to the team, and I'm sure he wanted to play. Okay. We felt it would be a positive thing for him to get him out of the house and involved, the head coach said. We practiced 4 times a week for 3 hours a day, and would have been a good relief for the household. The children's exact cause of death is yet to be determined. Well, we pretty much know. McFarland choked back tears, imagining the terror Zachary must have endured at the end of his life. The person you should trust the most in the world is your mom, he said. A 70-year-old would have been excited to go to the beach. I can only imagine what the kid was thinking at that moment. I know. The coach broke the tragic news to the boys' former teammates at practice Monday night. The young football players released balloons with Zachary's jersey number 15 into the sky over Coney Island and yelled, "Zachary, we love you," as a final goodbye. Oh, jeez. No charges have been filed against Merdy, who transported to NYU Langone Hospital late Monday morning, psychiatric evaluation. I'm sure she needs one. How does she come back from this? Even if you get your mind back, this is exactly what we talked about Andrea Yates back in the day. There was a big thing. How do you, even if you get your mind back, how do you get over the fact that you killed your children? I don't know if Andrea ever got her mind back, since she's been in psychiatric care for a long time. That's a shadow. It's going to be over her the rest of her life. That's what I'm worried about. I don't think there's a support group for people who commit such a heinous crime. Are there people who are functional that have done this? And that's where it leaves off. This is very hard, tragic case. And that's why, and this is African-American woman family, and there's a whole lot we could probably say on that as well, in the sense that when it comes to, resources, certain things, issues, especially with this country, poverty, situations and things like that, getting certain help or even medical care, especially mental health care, and all of it is very negative. And there's a huge struggle out there. So there is that element as well, that needs to be looked into. This is not a simple case. Like, still, even Susan Smith, we could say was probably mental, but not to this level. She was not dealing with this in the sense, her kind of thing. Now, well, there was probably something mental, but hers was a little different. That there was a guy involved, and he. I said he didn't want kids. He kind of broke up with her, and it was one of the things, he didn't want kids, and then she had gone through like the divorce situation, and so there seemed to be a little different kind of situation. And then there's the other woman. Oh God, what is her name? Hold on. Oh, the one that Farrah Fawcett did, and then there was the book. I read the book. Hold on, it's escaping me. Is it Andrea Downs? Hold on 1 second. Was that her name? Something. Diane Downs. The case of Diane Downs. The one who she was she was dating someone who was married, having an affair. He didn't want to have kids. She had a few kids. Took him in a car, shot him. I meant to unalive them all. One died. One ended up living paralyzed, and the girl, she didn't talk. She didn't talk for a long time, but she just survived. And then she finally told what happened, and it was pretty much she wanted to get rid of all her kids, just to hopefully this guy would leave his wife, and stuff. And she's still in jail, and she still denies it. And she's a complete sociopath, narcissist, whatever. She's completely different story. Okay. This woman has no empathy, stuff whatsoever. Susan Smith, there may be slightly middle, but she's almost in the middle of maybe Diane Downs, who has zero empathy, and this woman who, like I said, it is kind of it looks like, and really the feel is an Andrea Yates just kind of situation. But Andrea Yates also had a heavy religious indoctrination that was messing with the mind as well. Andrea Gates did not know how to say no. And there's going to be a whole lot, you could kind of see here that people are going to say, oh, well, she should have been having all these babies. She should have been fooling around. She shouldn't have been, that's the state of the world for you. That's the judgment world for you, and everything. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Say if she had aborted all three. Well, she's a bad mother for going and having 3 abortions. Shouldn't be having 6. And then she has 3 kids. And this horrible thing is just overwhelming. She should have been having kids. Oh, but she can't have abortions, right? Well, she should have said, okay, what about birth control? Oh, well, birth control, it's abortive too. They should also, she can't even do birth control, right? Okay. All the judgment, all the judgments, that I'm sure that everybody, things are going to say, okay, and everything, it's just, but if I just look, there's a lot of people who will let her down. There's a lot of people. What about, there are family there, and I know, and some are like, maybe we should have done something, maybe we should have helped, and everything, but, just even resources or what can be done, maybe help with rent, help her with work. Maybe she can't afford to work because she's got 3 kids. How do you pay for daycare and work a full-time job? Oh, and this country wants us to make more babies. Let's bring more. And, if you can't afford them, we could give them up for adoption. Let's put them in the foster system with thousands. There's about 500,000 in this country in foster care. And see, they usually, families want a little baby to adopt. They don't always want to buy a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid. It's the same syndrome. Most people want kittens and puppies. Okay, and what happens to the cats and dogs? They go in the pound and sit there for a few years. And then maybe do a rescue or something. This is the state of the world, guys. This is the state of the world. And so let's go ahead and look. I don't even know how to approach this read. It's so incredibly hard. Stuff. Just what kind of things we could kind of look at. I guess we'll just kind of look what Spirit has to say. Where is this woman kind of go from here? At this kind of point. There's a big lesson, for all of us to learn from it. But like I said, it ain't gonna be hard to predict right now. This is going to because there will be YouTubes, there's going to be discussion, there's going to be news, you're going to see it on social media, all this stuff, and everybody's going to have a strong opinion. Some people are going to look at mental health. Oh, well, she should have got help. Oh, yeah, they're going to judge. Oh, she should have had kids. Okay, well, you should abort. Well, then you could give them up for adoption if you can't handle it. And when you have kids, it's kind of it's hard to give them up for adoption. It sounds like, especially if she's in custody, she wants the kids, but she's obviously in over her head, and she's dealing with mental illness and things. Just say it. Okay, so you're going to hear this. Everybody's going to have a strong opinion. I understand that. It's a strong, this is a very heavy emotional thing. What we need to do as a society and our country, we need to look at ways we can prevent this from happening. Okay. Women that are struggling, single parents, if they're not getting child support, things like that. What can they do? What resources can we provide? But I know, then you got the right going, oh, that's socialism. Okay, we don't want to become socialists. Oh, these fuckers. This exasperates me. This whole case exasperates me. It's incredibly, sad. And I'm not taking everything off. We can say, still choices, decisions, and things, but obviously when you go into despair, and you're dealing with mental illness and trying to be a mother and keep your head above water, and the walls are close again, people crack, okay? And they can crack, and just like it's Andrea Yates all over again, without maybe the Christian element or a husband, okay? She's on her own and stuff, but it's very similar. Let's go ahead and look at it. I have very strong opinions on things like this, okay? But we got to have some kind of, human dignity, compassion here, looking for solutions, not judgment, but what can, we do to do better, to help people, and yes, African American community, women, are just treated terrible, the children, terrible. And living in poverty, this is, people, are so judgmental. that they make me angry and stuff. They don't want to help. I was actually watching, some pastors, I was watching, it was a good YouTube. God, I should go in my library and find it for you guys, because I could probably find it. But just how this man was talking about, that Christian, nationalists don't really, hopefully I'm not dying here. What happened? Oh, there we go. Okay. That Christian nationalists don't really want a, what do you call it? A true Christian nation. Like an actual Jesus type, not a real Jesus Christian nation. Because Jesus was about giving to the poor, giving the needy, helping. Okay. And stuff. And they'll come up with all kind of stuff. Give, but, and they put a lot of buts on that. I know Jesus said that, but, okay. It's great. What about those immigrants crossing the border, to kind of help them out? But wait a minute. It's ridiculous. They want their version of Jesus, not what's in the Bible. It's ridiculous. I need a whole thing. I need a whole YouTube on that. There's so much I could say on that. There's so many justifications. Let's go ahead and see what Spirit has to say. This is a tough one. Whew, I just gotta sit with this. This is a tough morning. Okay. So the Four of Wands, that is a completion card, but that really what I'm kind of looking at, the Four of Wands very often is about stability, having a stable foundation. That's one of the big things, that I feel, obviously she did not have, of course, and, really, try to seek that out, trying to figure it out, how can keep everything stable up front and everything. And this is one of the key things. I always talk about the Four of Wands and everything. And I don't reversals in this, of course. So this really probably would reverse if I read it as a reversal. But we say, if you got a good stable foundation in the home or a relationship or whatever it may be, if a storm comes, you can withstand the storm. But if not, everything's going to be wiped out. So really, I think just the stability, trying to have a stable foundation to be able to, function as a whole, very difficult. If we have education and this is one of the big things, I'm also big on, really, I believe everybody should be able to get at least a community college education for free in this country. And the more educated people are, they can get better jobs at certain things and stop, flooding them with student loans so they can't pay bills, so they can't afford more, all that. Let's just kind of go ahead, but, so much there. And everything. So we've got the Chariot. This is also the opposing card here, which really the Chariot and everything, we'd often look at that as, victory, success, and things going forward successfully. This is kind of the opposing card that is kind of in there and stuff. And, really, I feel that's one of the things, be able to go forward, having stability, being successful, with this was areas, I feel wanted to, but probably just how do you get your kind of way out and everything? How do you keep your balance? And so kind of lose a little bit of faith there. Let's look at the foundation, what we got going on. Temperance. Temperance, that can be sometimes, especially if it is out of balance. I always look at the supporting cards. Sometimes it can be bipolar. Sometimes it can be some kind of balance kind of issue that I kind of look at and everything. If certain things are out of balance and so forth, that is going to be a challenge. And so when I get the High Priestess energy that is kind of popping up in here, sometimes that could also represent maybe secrets, certain things private. Remember, it looks like she kind of withdrew, and really maybe she withdrew because nobody would help, maybe she was a little bit of ashamed of the situation she was in with the poverty and everything like that. It's kind of hard, but definitely kind of keeping things to self, just as, maybe people weren't necessarily aware just how bad certain things with being out of balance, mental illness had gone and stuff like that. And let's kind of go ahead and look there and everything. And then we've got the Princess of Dis that is popping up in there with that. She's only 30, that's not really, very old. But one of the things there, especially having, certain things with any kind of prosperity or things like that, money problems definitely, was an issue popping up in there and stuff. And then we've got like the Eon the judgment. It's a judgment card. There's going to be a whole lot of judgment going on. She was already dealing with judgment, probably already feeling very bad about herself, and things like that. Let's kind of go ahead and look what really happened. Let's just kind of go past energy, very recent past energy. What the hell happened here? Okay, so we're going to kind of look at, okay, so we got that Queen of Swords energy popping up in there. That does not make me feel her. That makes me feel, I'm not sure if the landlord might be female. That is a possibility stuff, but I definitely feel it sometimes could be legal. Kind of, sometimes when I see that Queen of Swords, law kind of energy, and so forth. But definitely kind of feeling the pressure. Yeah, there you go, justice. That makes me feel justice. I'm in the past energy, not what's coming. This stuff going on with the eviction. And like I said, energy with that going on, this was a big thing, of course, and everything. Now, we've got that Four of Cups energy and so forth. I feel just kind of, that can be the person kind of pushing away the cup, and everything, just kind of looking at things not turning out the way you want, just really kind of, focus and just can't find the spirit. And then the Hermit energy, they're isolated, alone, and things like that, which a lot of times you would hope, Hermit would find the spirit connection, but that's not always the case and so forth. Combined with also this Four of Cups energy, maybe not seeing it, kind of, you just, losing kind of hope in kind of things, very isolated, alone kind of energy, doing this on her own and stuff, really not having an outlet. This was probably traumatic for the kids. I'm going to go ahead and suspect, there's probably some challenges. There's some yelling at them there. I'm definitely getting, visuals, and that just, frustration with kids. Probably loves them, but at the same time, it's tough. There's a certain point, it's just all falling apart. Okay, lots of heavy stuff here, but I feel a lot of fire, yelling and stuff. Let's kind of go ahead and look what we got. Yeah, and kind of look it up at there, the Three Wands, and definitely with that energy, it just, well, we know they went out to the water, that is kind of one thing, whatever she was kind of thinking. But that Princess of Wands, which can be about passion, kind of fiery energy. I'm wondering if something happened. It normally can be a positive, the Page of Wands can, but at the same time, I'm wondering if something happened, maybe temper-wise or things like that, just, and yeah, it looks like we got conflict, remember that father figure, the princess. I feel like something maybe got mad or something, like some kind of thing happens in there, some kind of thing. Temper, it's real hard to explain, but let's kind of go ahead and see what we're looking at. This is some very, this is some tough stuff coming in, just some of the messages. So a couple things there, just kind of looking at that, the Wheel of Fortune, and then the defeat, the battle. And even, obviously, I think about that Wheel of Fortune. I know we would look at that very positive, right? Yes, that is true. But just, I would see, I feel kind of her, kind of looking at that, just could not see, the going in a positive direction, positive situation, luck turn it around. That's hence why I wanted to pull that, because that's what I kind of felt, defeat and stuff, defeated, and then the battle just obviously taken out in this whole situation. Sadly, the Knight of Cups, this is making me feel the 7-year-old and stuff, which is very soft and gentle energy and stuff like that. There's some things coming in there that are not good, and everything. I've got, oh my God, I gotta go ahead and look. This is so much. Yeah, and I feel that, the victory card, I feel, is under the child. I really feel like with the son, I mean, what I kind of feel is kind of, I think the victory card makes me think of the football team, the children, just think, when you go win, a little bit different energy there, trying to, kind of go in and just be inspired and stuff. There was a struggle there. I feel loving spirit, trying to offer love and everything. And even I hate to say it, I feel this kind of Nine of Cups energy, kind of pleading, with the mother and stuff. It is some of my energy there. This is a hard one and stuff. In her position, This is kind of hard. The star and everything, which you would a lot of times think light the other tunnel. And then we've got that full energy and stuff. But still, also, to have any kind of light in there, you're in darkness at a certain point. But I still feel like, somewhere we're losing hope, right? We're just losing hope at a certain kind of point here. I got the Ace of Cups, so I feel she loves these kids. I know it doesn't look like it, guys, and stuff, but just somewhere, try to keep eyes on the light. I feel she try to be hopeful, but, and like I said, Ace of Cups, I feel she loves these kids, but something happened there, the environment, and, yeah, Eight of Pentacles, like, even trying to figure out, like, a work situation, but change kind of pops up in there. Whew, it's so incredible. There might have been a little bit with the Hierophant, some kind of a religious. There might have been some kind of religious kind of things in there. We may find out. For example, was she hearing God? Was she hearing voices? Certain things like that. That's a possibility. Certain relationships, connections. Was difficult. The Tower, everything came crashing down. It just explosion. Okay, she lost her mind. Period. Okay, and just the Tower. Yeah, I mean, I just look at either, I feel she tried to hold on to hope. I just kind of, when I look at feelings, attitudes, motion, Ace of Cups really kind of says something to me, guys. I feel she did love her kids, but definitely overwhelmed, and just, there is a battle there. There is a battle, that defeat card, I lost the battle and stuff. And, really just like fortune, just, I feel we just wish luck would turn around, trying to see a way out and stuff, and not see that way and stuff. And like I said, Temperance can be, looking at, my cards and everything, sometimes a symbol, bipolar symbol, the balance, and stuff, Tower, and stuff. This is, just, and that just violent, and stuff. I feel something may have happened, something may have possibly ticked them off a little bit. But I also feel there's a little bit, in a way, and I know this is going to be hard to understand, almost not wanting kids to suffer, like, too, it's just, it's all bad. It's all bad disaster, kind of thing. Just look at, like I said, the star, which can be sometimes the light at the tunnel. I feel trying to have hope, but you're in the darkness in that moment. Okay, if you can't see that light anymore, if that star kind of, that's the hard thing. Oof, where do we go from here, guys? This is so hard. Where do we go from here? But yeah, there's going to be a lot of talk. There's going to be a lot of judgment. There's going to be a lot of discussion. But I do feel there will be some people that maybe have some empathy and stuff. Yeah, like I've even got that heart card, and stuff. I know it's just, we all feel for the children and everything. And, I know the robber mice, I mean, this is just unfortunate. When you get the mice, it's just kind of unfortunate when you, and what do you think? Say poverty. What, say if you're in a real bad place, mice can sometimes be that symbol, and things like that. It just everything just like no joy and stuff like that. There is I've also got a letter and a book that's popping up. I feel that there's maybe things that maybe she's kind of expressed in written ways that could pop up later. I know the news of this is very difficult. We should, know more and stuff. It's just, I feel just, want to be happy and just find out. And like I said, so I'm not getting so far in this energy. What I've kind of looked at, I've showed you guys. This is one of the reasons I like tarot, because it's something I can show you all, right? In the sense that, I'm not seeing here, in a sense, this any kind of cruelty, or at least, trying to be, a cruel, terrible person or anything like that. Like I said, the Ace of Cups in her position, I feel she loves her kids, but there's definitely a, look at the Tower. Snap, and everything. And this would be one of the things. So whatever gets her mind back, then you got to deal with that, right? Let's kind of see. I don't often go to Osho, but I do kind of want to look at that. Yeah, especially like even when I look at that Nine of Pentacles, it's a little different in this one. This is the ripeness card. You know, one of the things that card can be about, like that self-love, self-confidence, sense of self-worth. That's one of the things that, you know, we got to be able to kind of grow, have, you know, as people, as women, and stuff like that. I even get a little bit of the past lives cards kind of popping up in there. But see that dream card? The dream card is, now that is the Six of Cups, which can be children, childhood. But notice, like this lady kind of sitting there having a dream of maybe love and things like that. And this, so that sometimes this card can be about, you know, somebody having a dream and they look back and I didn't quite get my dream. I didn't quite get my wish. Looking back on this Six of Cups reflection is a challenge, you know, and stuff. You know, really at this point, healing, you know, it is really what this woman, I don't even know if she can heal from this. So that's the hard part. You know, what stuff, you know, connecting to source divine. Absolutely. Really the whole, you know, the family, you know, needs to heal from this, but she was alone. Remember the hermit? She was doing this all alone, you know, and so obviously with children, but where are the, you know, the people, this is why people need to help people. You know, and stuff, and that's why we need to be able to support people, whether single parent moms or this, whatever it may be, and stuff. And these fools who say, "Oh, socialist stuff," you know, programs that no, people need resources, help, programs, and stuff. You know, everybody, it's, you know, I don't. They're just so ridiculous and stuff. But also, what does your inner voice tell you? You know, when you kind of look at this, what does your inner voice tell you, people? You know, with this is the hard stuff. We want women, like, look at the flowering, you know, and sometimes this is about a pregnancy card. It is, but you know, to be able to bloom, flower, that is actually the Queen of Pentacles card. Should be able to do that, you know, be able to grow and everything, you know, and we want them to do that, you know, healthy, you know, a healthy, you know, mother. Okay, healthy mother does well with kids, but even, and maybe this is why Spirit wanted me to pull the Osho card. Schizophrenia. That's the Two of Swords, but this deck is a little bit different. This is schizophrenia. Notice that person's kind of being pulled apart. Look at that person right there. But also, what is one of the things with schizophrenia? Hearing voices. And that's why I was kind of feeling that I feel she may have been hearing things. And that's what got her out, you know, to this beach. And she's in her bathrobe and she's not with it. It's some kind of snap from reality. The pressure. And so, see, it's real easy for people to judge, especially, you know, maybe, well, I had it hard and I had to make it not, you know, for, you know, we've got to deal with what's going on with the mind, what, you know, and, you know, I feel she was hearing voices, guys. Schizophrenia, it's right there, it's in our face. And stuff, like I said, Spirit wanted me to pull this card. This deck, I don't often pull this deck, it's right there. I was hearing voices. She loves these kids, but she's hearing voices. There's things going on there, and she has snap from reality. And that's why they said, you know, when her mind comes back, it's gonna be hard, guys. If it does, if somebody falls into something like schizophrenia, and I think they said she might have been drinking a little bit. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I'm not sure. There might have been some kind of, you know, maybe upset, this, that, whatever. But I feel, you know, something with the mind there. That would explain, you know, definitely the defeat card and everything like that. So, which is the hard part. Do not judge, guys. Do not judge. It's very tragic all the way around. But it's Andrea Yates all over again. It's Andrea Yates all over again. Similar, but this one's single, not married. You know, it's a similar thing. You know, just overwhelmed, and you know, people. It should set a precedent in a sense, you know, we've got to have programs to help mothers, and I know there's certain things that are going on. I mean, rent and this, and people can't afford this, and how are they making it, you know, and stuff, and to be that behind on rent, and it's scary. You know, it's scary. Oh my God, I'm gonna be homeless. It's scary. How do I feed my kids? It's scary. You know, all of this going on, and I'm sure she probably checked programs. There was probably not much left help, you know, that she could do, you know, as far as any kind of rent relief or you know, certain things, you know, but people should not be alone in this. Look at that. You saw a couple of hermit cards. Feeling alone. I'm alone. I'm not getting help. What's going on? Where are these fathers? Why aren't they paying child support? Which, I'm just going to reasonably assume that's probably not the case. And stop. And obviously, well, there was one father who obviously wanted, was trying to get, custody. And I, if was living in bad condition and she can't pay rent, I can understand why would maybe want to do that. But, still, what about, were you supporting financially? Were you trying to help her? What about, hey, instead of just maybe kind of help this woman, certain things. This is the mother of your child. Or we try to maybe do something, maybe offer a place to get out of there, a place to live, or take her. Where's the humanness in this? It's very tragic. So just like I said, as you kind of go in, you're going to see there's going to be articles, there'll be YouTube's discussions, maybe even debates. And maybe they're going to bring up a little pro-choice stuff in there. Yes, it's definitely. I may actually have to put this in the women's group and talk about it. It's tragic all the way around, guys. So, but yeah, it's looking like probably like a snap. I feel she's hearing voices. Something is going on. And like I said, this does not take away from certain, like human responsibility, not trying to do that. But you got, if we're ever going to understand anything about the human condition, we got to empathize here. Okay. Like I said, this is not feel Diane Downs. Okay, this is not that. It doesn't even feel Susan Smith. This feels more, like I said, like an Andrea Yates kind of situation, just completely snap, and everything. The Ace of Cups really tells me that, that she'll have these kids, whatever it was, and just like that. Whew, hope you remember, guys.